Hello everyone, my name is Diane and this is my pink bathtub. On our last episode, we learned how to decrease stitches on our work. One way using in the knit way, one way on the purl way. Today we're going to learn how to increase stitches. This is sometimes a request in knitting patterns when we're doing shaping on our garments or making toys or various things. The first one we're going to learn is called knit front and back, or on a pattern it will be known as Kfb. And essentially what we're going to be doing is creating a second stitch in our work by knitting into the front and the back of the same stitch. Sometimes this can be a little awkward to do, so I'll do it a couple times for you. So we're going to go into the front of our work like we always do when we're knitting a knit stitch. We're going to wrap our back needle and pull it forward. Normally we would be pulling it off the needle, but no, we're going to just keep going. We want to be very loose when we wrap it. And we're going to also push it into the back part of the same original stitch. And we're going to wrap it a second time. And then we're going to pull it forward and take it off the stitch. See this little bar here, which kind of also looks like a purl stitch? That is your second stitch. So I'll just do a couple more knit stitches and show you that again. This is a very common stitch that you're going to see. See the little bump there? In patterns, this is a very common stitch for increasing, and I tend to use this most of the time when I do increasing. Sometimes I do not follow what the recommended stitch is in the pattern because this is just my go-to increase stitch. So let's try this again. We're going to enter the stitch like we would normally do a knit stitch. We're going to wrap that back needle like we always do, bring it to the front, but we're not taking it off our needle just yet. We're going to pull it a little bit. I always just tend to pick up this to make it easier on myself. Stick your needle in the back of that original stitch, wrap that, pull that one forward and take it off the needle. Do you want me to show you one more time? 3 times the charm, I hear. We're going to enter our stitch, wrap it like we would a normal knit, bring it to the front like a normal knit, but instead of taking it off the needle, we're going to enter it from the back of the loop, wrap that one more time, bring it to the front and off the needle. So now we've done 3 of them. Let me just get to the end of my row. Let me get to the end of my row. And I will show you what they look like in your work. Better. So you're going to see you've got 3 little bumps here. This is the second stitch that you've added onto your work. And now you've increased your work. Let's learn the other increase stitch today, and that is called Make One, also known as M1. Now this one actually has a bit of a nicer finish to it. You're not going to have that odd little bump in the middle of your work. See how we have all of these bars that are in between the stitches. They're kind of, if you pull apart, you can see these lines, these bars. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick up the bar in between the 2 stitches and put it on your left hand needle. You're going to pick it up, put it on from the back to the front so that it's actually in the same direction as these. Now normally you would be knitting, putting your needle in the front to knit, but in this situation, we're going to put our needle in the back of this stitch and knit it. And I'm going to show you, if you did it the other way, what it would look like. So here it is, and it does seem to close up the stitch nicely. It's not as strong of a line as the knit front and back option. Let's do this again. We're going to take our little bar that's in between our two stitches. We're going to put it on our needle. Now, if I was to knit in the front like I would a normal knit stitch, let's just do that and see what happens. Look at the big hole I'm making. You'd get a bit of a bigger hole here. So you want to always knit the make one in the back loop of the stitch. And when you're putting the stitch on, you're putting it from the back to the front, not like this way. So you're taking this little bar, I shouldn't be calling it a stitch, I apologize. You're taking this little bar and you're putting it on from the back to the front onto the needle. And then you are taking your right hand needle, putting it in the back of the stitch, just like that, and knitting it. And this middle one here is the stitch. I'm going to do it one more time. This is probably why I don't do this stitch often, because I myself sometimes get confused. So we're going to take this from the back to the front, put that little bar on our needle, then we're going to take our right hand needle, put it in the back of the stitch, knit it from the back, and pull it off. Get to the end of the row. And it's less, once you do a couple rows, you're not even going to really see this. It's a bit more invisible than the knit front and back. So currently I've showed you quite a few different techniques on different types of stitches. I think I'm going to take a little break and I'm going to come back next week and drop some more videos. One of them I'm going to do is how to knit in the round.